Hi everyone, and welcome to A&P with Dr. O. What we are looking at here is we are looking at the thyroid gland underneath the microscope. When we talk about the histology of the thyroid gland, what we want to do is we want to locate the thyroid follicles. And we're going to see that the thyroid follicles are made up of follicular cells. And these follicular cells are simple cuboidal epithelium. We talked about simple cuboidal epithelium in A&P1. We mentioned that one of the locations of this tissue is the thyroid gland. Now we are seeing that again as we talk about the thyroid gland in more detail as it relates to the endocrine system. These circular structures that you see here, those are going to be the thyroid follicles. There's one here. You can see there's one here. There's one here. There are several on this slide. I'm going to go ahead and circle one of them for us here. Now this entire structure that I've circled our entire structure is going to be the thyroid follicle. And again, we can see that there are several of them on this histological image. Now, we also know that the follicle is made up of these follicular cells. If I take a look at one of the other follicles here, and I just maybe draw a line to the nucleus of one of the follicular cells, this would be a single follicular cell. And again, all of these follicular cells in this ring would make up that thyroid follicle. The follicular cell, again, is going to be that simple cuboidal epithelium. Simple because we have one layer of cells. Cuboidal because they are cube shaped. So if I kind of draw a thyroid follicle over here, we've got these little cubes. They kind of come around and make a circle. This then is a drawing representation of one of those follicles. We can see the nucleus in the middle of each cell. That just gives you another way to visualize one of the thyroid follicles made up of follicular cells, which are simple cuboidal epithelial cells. The function of the thyroid follicles is to make the thyroid hormones T3 and T4. In order to make T3 and T4, we are going to require the amino acid tyrosine. We also need iodine in order to make these hormones. And the tyrosine is going to be contained within the thyroid follicle as part of the colloid. We can see that there is a substance inside some of these follicles. All of the follicles would contain this colloid substance, even though in some of them you can't see it. But again, in the inside, that's where we have the substance known as colloid with the protein thyroglobulin And that is what is going to contain that amino acid tyrosine. And again, that's going to be important for making the thyroid hormones T3 and T4. Now, we also have cells that are found outside of the thyroid follicles. They're called C cells, or sometimes they're known as parafollicular cells. Again, these are cells that don't belong to a follicle. We can see a clump of cells here that doesn't belong to a thyroid follicle. We've got this kind of clumping of cells in here as well. Again, if the cells are not forming the ring, if they are outside the ring, then they are known as C cells. And this is where we're going to get the hormone calcitonin.